The $999 ROG Ally X is selling out over and over again. It's not available right now. You can't get it. While the cheaper original Ally sits on the shelves. This isn't just about sales, it's a warning to Xbox and a signal to every console gamer. Players are making it crystal clear. Portability matters, yes, but they don't want compromises. I think power still matters in the space, which is really interesting. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about what it means. We're gonna talk about why I was wrong. I think I was wrong here, and it's really interesting. Let's jump into it. This is an article at Pure Xbox that got me thinking about this. Go check it out. ROG Xbox Ally X continues to sell out while the standard version remains more readily available. Now, to be fair, there's probably more supply out there for the OG ROG Ally. It is white. It is priced at $599. So there's probably more stock available. But the fact that the ROG Ally X continues to sell out is interesting. And I thought that it wouldn't. I thought for sure the cheaper of the two would sell out, and that does not seem to be the case here. I know for myself, when I look at my personal calculus that I did for it, it was, well, I could get the white one, but I want in a handheld portable. I mean, think about your niche that you're marketing to here. It's people who want to be able to play their PC games and their console games, but it's primarily a PC crossover crowd, I think, on a handheld, and then even be able to dock that and play that on, for instance, a 1440 or a 1080p gaming monitor. And so hardware does matter actually at this price point, right? The Ally X is heavier. In other words, I think that there's something to be said here that gamers are voting for performance, not price necessarily, which is interesting, which I did not think would happen at all. And I can say I was wrong on that point. Having said that, maybe $599 as well. And now we don't have numbers. In fairness, we don't have any numbers here. So it may be that actually in pure numbers, the $599 model, the Ally, is selling out more than the Ally X, and there was maybe just less. I don't think that that's the case. It doesn't feel like that's the case anyways. Gamers, they're voting for performance, I think, over here, not price. It may be that the $599 model is priced in no man's land. It's a psychological price point where, okay, it's higher than the Nintendo Switch, which is $499. But I'm not getting the performance of the $999. I'm going for the $999. Like, that's the calculation that I did in my head there. The Ally X is heavier, it's pricier, and it's still selling out over the standard model. I think that shows there's a rising class of gamers who want console level power, PC level power on the go, and are willing to pay for it. In fact, if you look at the comments of any of my videos, there's a lot of comments that I get on tweets from hardcore PC guys who have a ton of PC handhelds out there and are all about the $999 one. And so I think this is, I'm new to this space in the respect that I've been on the Xbox console. This is opening me up to a PC handheld world. I do have a gaming PC, but I primarily game on the console. This is giving me the ability to game in both. I think that perhaps this market, I just didn't understand it. And maybe this is why it's all been a test for Xbox, I think. It's all been a test to see, like, is there a place for an Xbox handheld? I think that Xbox has been quiet on dedicated handhelds up until the last few years. It's not even been a mention, and all of a sudden they come on the screen. They partner with ROG. We thought they were going to make their own handheld. Looks like they're going third party, and I think that's actually the right move here with handhelds. The Ally X is giving them real world data here. The question is, what is that real world data? Is the real world data that, hey, balls matter? People want performance, and they're willing to pay for that performance in this space. Really interesting. I do think Microsoft is using ASUS and this as a way to test the waters, a way to test the PC handheld water without committing. Excuse me. I also don't think we're yet to the point where cloud gaming just isn't enough. Xbox has pushed cloud first mobile gaming. But if you're buying an Ally X, for instance, I'm not using it for cloud gaming. Also, if you're paying $599 for just the base Ally, you're probably not using that for cloud gaming either. So maybe it's just that it's priced in no man's land there. I think localized power is still where it's at for the time being, and that's why these $999 price points, the $999 handheld, is going the way that it's going. What's going to be interesting to see what Xbox does with this information going forward, what PlayStation does with this information going forward, hell, what Steam Deck does with this information going forward. This trend could force Xbox to completely rethink the balance between price point and their cloud offerings and physical hardware. So to sell a portable device built for the cloud, I think you're coming in at a $100, $199 price point there. I don't think you're getting these bad boys for the cloud. That's just the reality there. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do with that. What else is going to be interesting is to see how this ends up competing with the Steam Deck. I've said for a while, I think this next generation, we're entering a phase in gaming where it's really Valve that is Xbox's competition here. It's not PlayStation. And for everybody that's like, well, PlayStation has just dominated the gaming space. Yes, they have. They won. Congratulations. They won the console wars. We're moving to platform wars. That's where this next generation is going. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this type of stuff, how the ROG Ally X competes with Steam Deck. And if it's successful for Xbox, can Xbox then start to flood the market with more devices like this and just outflank Steam Deck? Steam Deck is the marquee gaming device. They've built it, a lot of hard work over time. Everyone I know that has a Steam Deck loves it. Their price point comes in much, much cheaper. You're talking $349 for that entry-level price point, $649 for their high-end entry-level price point, so much cheaper. They're going for accessibility over balls. Xbox here with their first iteration went for balls, i.e. performance, over accessibility, and yet the device seems to be doing really, really well. I think overall, the reason that this is really interesting to me, I just think it's an interesting area of the market. I know I'm very excited for my Ally X. I think it's a bigger discussion because I think this represents kind of the direction of gaming overall. This is bigger than just the handheld, the Ally. It's bigger than Xbox. It's bigger than PlayStation. I think it's ultimately about control. I think gamers are tired of being locked into a couch or a TV or a desktop. I think gamers are tired of being locked into a specific device. And that's where I think Game Pass long-term succeeds. I think it's where cloud gaming long-term succeeds because you have options. And I think it's why there's such a demand for these high-end devices coming in at $1,000 to be able to detach you from your devices. I now, when this drops, will have the ability to play PC games or Xbox games, all via Game Pass too, anywhere in my home. I'm not tied to a desk. I'm not tied by any cables. I'm not tied to a television. I can play at my own convenience wherever and whenever I want. I think that's huge. I think we've entered a world where there are so many options out there that convenience beats everything. Access beats everything. And ultimately, I think that's why people are saying, oh, Game Pass at the $30 price point doesn't make sense. No. It absolutely makes sense because the future here is access. And that gives you access. Anything that gives you access to more for less is what's going to win here. And I think that that's what this represents ultimately. The ROG Ally X to me is about freedom to game how I want, when I want, where I want. And that is worth $1,000. That's right. That's worth $1,000 to me. Also, I've been going down this rabbit hole. I just like hardware. I like electronics. I've been going down this rabbit hole of all kinds of add-ons that I can do. I'm looking at building my own eGPU unit. That's right. I'm a psychopath at the moment. I would love to know what you guys think, though. Do you think that there's anything here? Am I overstating the case about why this is selling out? That ultimately gamers are choosing performance over price? Do you think that maybe the Ally is priced in no man's land? Do you think it's just a bad price point for that entry level? Again, I said this all along. I did say I thought that they had to get that entry level price point at $499. The higher end, I did not think mattered because it was less, I think it's a smaller group of people that you're trying to impress, that you're trying to entice. It seems to be that that's where everybody's going. Everybody's saying, well, I'm going all in. I'm going for the big boy. I want what the big boy one can get me there. I would love to know what you guys think. Overall, I do think that again, I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. I know it's super annoying. The next 5 years in gaming is going to look completely different than the last 5 years. And we're seeing it every single day, every single week. There is something new that is happening. There's new information. There's new data points that we're getting. And I think this is a data point. And I think what this data point tells us is like I said, a few things. Performance matters, but also freedom matters. Control matters. How I play, giving me the ability to play where I want, when I want, how I want matters, and I'm willing to pay for it. Would love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.